So this is a kind of a scientific theory. When that happens, you are triggering parts of your body which are so important. Because the nervous systems, I told you there are so many very important points in your heart, in your body. One I said is the brain, processor. Second is the stomach, processor. I told you third is the spinal column. There is the processor. So these processors are coming on. There is a switch which comes on. Tuck, the processor is on. Tuck, switch off. Switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. Ones and zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros. Got it? In your computers, you are doing the same thing, binary code. It's like a code. Tuck, 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 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0, like that. Now think, in your body there is a binary code switching on, switching off, switching on, switching off. We are doing Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, verse 27 and 28. Shutting out all thoughts of external enjoyment with the gaze fixed on the space between the eyebrows, having regulated the prana, which is the outgoing breath, and the apana, which is the incoming breath, flowing within the nostrils, he who has brought his senses, mind and intellect under control, such a contemplative soul, intent on liberation and free from desire, fear and anger, is ever liberated. Now what is mentioned over here is called pranayama. Exercise of prana. So we are now taking this yogi who has overcome all these issues in life. So like we have said, his sins have been purged, that means no karma left. Doubts have been dispelled. Discipline, mind is disciplined. All these things, and he is established in God. So such kind of a person who doesn't have anger or who doesn't have any worldly thoughts. So now let us see, shutting out all thoughts of external enjoyment. See, what does this mean, external enjoyment? When we speak of external enjoyment, we are talking about everything that we do in the world is called an enjoyment only. Suppose I am seeing something, I am watching a movie, it is an enjoyment. But if I am watching something very bad happening in front of me, we immediately say, I am not enjoying it. No. Enjoyment, as the word means, you are assimilating that thing inside of you. So even if there is an earthquake happening, people are dying, some bad stuff is happening in front of you, some good stuff is happening in front of you, you're liking something, maybe a movie, or we are watching some very beautiful scenery, you might have gone on a holiday, or you may be arguing with your spouse, or anything for that matter, which you do with your senses, eyes, ears and all that, is called enjoyment. So don't say enjoyment is not, I am not enjoying, doesn't mean that. So even something wrong happening is also an enjoyment, okay? Now you may be falling down, you may be tripping over, falling down, and something may be happening. Even that is called enjoyment. Feeling sad is an enjoyment, okay? Please, you may consider, oh, I'm feeling so sad, I'm feeling so miserable, I don't like this. The word here, enjoyment, is actually not enjoyment. It means you are going through some action. Going through some action in your life. It could be sadness, it could be happiness, it could be daylight, it could be nighttime, it could be bright, it could be dark, anything for that matter. Does not really matter. So if you are going through something, anything that is happening in front of you, or even in your mind for that matter, mind means the things are not happening in front of you. They are happening in your so-called mind. So all these things, they are called enjoyment. So the thoughts of external enjoyment. See the thing which he says, thoughts. Thoughts means the person is reprimanding me, I am so miserable, Now imagine in the satsang, I sometimes reprimand a person. I say, you should not be doing like this. And the person feels miserable. Okay, that is also enjoyment. The thought going on in the mind is, this is not correct. Why is he doing like this? Blah, 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 blah. It is called enjoyment. As per this word. So don't bother your head about actually you are enjoying or you are feeling miserable. Okay. Now, after he has cutting off all these thoughts, why are you thinking? What is the point in getting into that scene? Don't think. If your eyes are watching something, they are only watching. You are a witness. Yesterday, I think Savita asked me a question and I told her, you can stand outside your body and be a witness. Exactly like that. You are just witnessing something happening. Don't react. There is no need of reaction. Just watch. You are a watcher. You don't have to do anything. So when you are just a watcher, then it is called experiencing that whatever that is there in front of you, you can be hearing also something. Something is going on in the background. You are hearing it. It is just like a witness. You are witnessing it. Not getting involved in the action. So this is what he says. When that is happening, you can be doing this. Fixing your gaze on the center of your nose. This is the nose. Now, when I see these eyes, the eyes are wide, okay, like this, wide. Now, I am going to bring them close to my nose. So, when I see this nose, have you seen my eyes become like this? They came closer like this. I literally become squint-eyed. That is because I brought that center of whatever vision that I am having right on the tip of my nose. So I gaze over here. Gazing over here is an action which I need to do. One of the things which you have to learn as you go along is how to perform these actions of the eyes. Okay? Seeing here, seeing there, seeing up, seeing down, like that. This is your eye movement. Your eye is in a socket and the eye can move this side, I can move this side, I can move up and I can move down and I can move in the center also over here. Right? So don't bother. Your eyes are capable of this movement as long as it is not going in reverse direction. Okay, some people, they make only the white eyes. I'm sure you have seen, some people have this habit of taking all their eyeballs up. Nothing like that. So you have to bring it to the tip of your nose. And the breath has to be regulated. What is the regulation of the breath? I will be giving a very detailed explanation sometimes, which you just have to write down and you have to practice. Practice is important. So I take a deep breath. See, when I take a deep breath, do you see my body is rising like this? Have you seen? Suppose I'm like hunched. You can see the chest rises and the shoulders rise and the body also rises. Okay, this is not the method. Otherwise people will say, oh, this is the method. No, this is not the method. First you got to sit straight. You see, you have to sit straight. Now see the whole thing. Did you see that this portion of the body didn't move? It is only the chest which moved up forward. Okay, forward. So when I take a deep breath, you will find that the chest moves forward because the lungs are expanding inside. I'm taking the breath in. Got the answer? Alright. Now, so then what happens? Below the chest, there is a place which is called the diaphragm. Diaphragm. You know the diaphragm is there? I'm sure you have studied it in school, but if you don't know, go and search for it on the internet. There is a diaphragm. Okay? Something which is like this, in a curved shape. Alright? So when I take the... What is happening to the diaphragm? When I exhale and when I inhale, the diaphragm is moving up and down. Can you see? Notice it? Below the lungs, the diaphragm moves up, diaphragm moves down, diaphragm moves up, diaphragm moves down. It's a thing which is happening inside. So now when I have an empty space, now I have a vacuum. You see a vacuum, you know what a vacuum is? So and the vacuum is sealed at this point. Now I remove the seal from there. What happens to the air? The air rushes inside the vacuum, right? Now when you exhale, inside there, it's collapsed, you know. A kind of a vacuum has been generated. So when you take the breath in, it expands. Got the answer? So this is what happens. Alright? So this is nothing but a little of science. So when that expansion and contraction of the lungs happen, it is in our case, all our human beings, it is happening so naturally we don't even see. Oh, breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out, breath. We don't say this while walking on the road or even sitting in one place. Oh, now I'm breathing in. Now I have to breathe out. Now I have to breathe in. Now I have to breathe out. We don't say this. This is stupid. But in spiritual world, we have to train our body. Do you remember this? Training the body. The training of the body is important. Why? It is because we are so used to shallow breathing. We are used to shallow breathing. We don't take deep breath at all. We just, we're doing like like a dog. So we have to learn to take deep breath. The secret of it is, this is the secret. The less number of breath that you take, the longer you live. Your life is dependent on the number of breath that you take in your life. So did you understand what I said? Suppose you are living from, somebody is, alive for 70 years, 70. Okay. So there is how many breaths the person has taken in the 70 year of his life. Is the amount of time he is alive. Now suppose he practices this art. Okay. He does what is called regulation of his breath. He can extend his life for more than 5 to 10 years. So the breath by itself can happen after some time. So he need not take the breath. See, this is theory, okay? Please don't go into it deeply. Just now I am just giving you an answer. Just get into it to understand what is happening. The burning inside happens. Do you know this? Oxygenation. There are two things which happens. One is burning. Okay. Combustion. People will say, oh, combustion. Okay. Gas type. Okay. And reduction. Reduction. What is reduction? Sir, you have forgotten your science. Very sadly. Combustion is one action and the other action is called reduction. We studied it in school, 5th standard, 6th standard or so. I don't know where you studied, but that is the thing you studied. Taking of oxygen, burning happens. What does burning happen? You know, when you light a candle, oxygen is taken by the candle, isn't it? I am sure you know that. That is burning, combustion, that is. So like that, combustion and reduction, both these are happening in your body simultaneously. All over your body, not only just in your lungs. Please understand. Why? Because this oxygen is distributed in your whole body. Alright? So you are not breathing only for your lungs. Okay? You are breathing for distribution in your whole body. The oxygen that is there has to be distributed. So deep breath. When you take a deep breath, you are filling your lungs with full whatever air that is there. When it goes inside, you know, a certain percentage of air is oxygen. You are oxygenating your lungs perfectly. So when the distribution happens, carbon dioxide is removed, oxygen is given. The small cells which are there, do you remember anything? Those marble-like cells inside your lungs, do you know what they are called? Everybody will say, no, I don't remember all these things. Alveoli. So in the alveoli, that thing is going distributing, oxygen goes inside the cells and from there they are removing the carbon dioxide. This is a cycle that happens inside your body. And then carbon dioxide gets accumulated and then it is exhaled, coming out. So these two actions are very important. Inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation, exhalation. Remember this. Alright? When we are doing the spiritual study, this inhalation and exhalation has a tremendous value. Okay? This value can never be gauged because it is not inhalation or exhalation that is happening. It is the triggering of something very, very important that happens in our body. So there are certain places which are getting the triggers. Tuck, 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 tuck. They are starting off. It's like a switch. Switch comes on. Switch comes on like that. So when you take a very deep breath, can you feel the breath being taken even at the base of your body? You don't know? You see, just near the anus there is a contraction happening. Do that and see for yourself. You will find that you take a deep breath and see for yourself. The breath is coming right from the bottom of where you are sitting. And so when you exhale, it's like a opening up of all those things. Closing and opening and closing and opening and closing and opening. This closing and opening is happening in different parts of our body. Especially at the bottom of your seat, where you are sitting. Right? And when that happens, there is a trigger there. This trigger comes on. Another trigger which you can actually experience is in the solar plexus. Solar plexus, you have that navel, no navel. So just above the navel, just count 2 or 3 fingers just above the navel. Just count like this, 1, 2, 3. Okay, or 1 and 2. That place, I'm giving an approximation. You have to find your that particular place. Is the knot. Is a very, very interesting place. If you are a fan of Bruce Lee movies, if you say, he does like this, he exactly hits in that place. And the fellow falls down. It is called the solar plexus. It's a very important place. I am going to come back to solar plexus in one of the chapters. So remember it. It is 2 or 3 fingers above your navel. So you will find that when you take a deep breath or when you exhale, this portion also is moving up and down and up and down. Your stomach moves, no? Have you seen? Stomach is also moving a little bit. So this thing goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, like that. There is a trigger being set over there. So exactly now I want you to think, I told you 3 fingers above the navel. So what did you do? You put your finger on your stomach. No, it is at the back of the stomach. Not in the front of the stomach. It's at the back of the stomach. Somewhere in front of the spinal cord. What did I say? You know the spinal column is there at the back. Just in front of it. In front means the one. Okay. That means this is the stomach. This is the spinal cord. Okay, like this. Alright. Now here, this place. So this solar plexus is there, not on your stomach. So don't think like that. So everything is getting movement. Like that. There's a churning happening there. It's literally like, have you seen the wheel, flywheel type of a thing? Huh? So, you know, the children, they have in the fair, no, they will go around with one stick and there are 4 wings like this. And when they do like this, like this, like this, the wheel goes round. Huh? Exactly that happens. So, inward movement, outward movement. When they do like this and when they do like this to the wheel, what happens? It moves clockwise and it moves anti-clockwise. Clockwise, anti-clockwise. So when they do like this, like this, like this, like this to the wheel, think, I want you to think, I want you to visualize. So when they move this wheel, the movement clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise. So now think, when you take the breath in and when you take the breath out, this portion behind your body, I told you one is at the bottom, one is behind, one is at the back of your chest. Okay? There is a movement happening inside there. And that movement is clockwise and anti-clockwise. So this is a kind of a scientific theory. When that happens, you are triggering parts of your body which are so important. Because the nervous systems, I told you there are so many very important points in your heart, in your body. One I said is the brain, processor. Second is the stomach, processor. I told you third is the spinal column. There is the processor. So these processors are coming on. There is a switch which comes on. Tuck, the processor is on. Tuck, switch off. Switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. Ones and zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros. Got it? In your computers, you are doing the same thing, binary code. It's like a code. Tuck, 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 tuck. 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0, like that. Now think, in your body there is a binary code switching on, switching off, switching on, switching off. This is the main issue. We have to react to it. So when you take a deep breath, the breath goes right up to the bottom. Not the breath, actually, not the air is not going. It is the body movement which happens like this, which triggers our bottom, our solar plexus, our back of the heart, our neck, our brain. All these are important points. They get triggered. Tuck, 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 tuck. But when we take a shallow breath, we are not even moving our lungs. We are not even moving our diaphragm too much. It's like a vacuum. Air going in, air coming out. Air going in, air coming. That's it. Nothing is there. So we are not triggering any part of the body if we are taking shallow breath. So this deep breath is important. Okay? I have given you a very simple understanding as much as I can. for understanding why it is important to have deep breath. Because if you want activation of those places, activation means coming on. Those who are in computer world, okay, there is a GPU. Okay, some of the machines have advanced GPUs. Okay, some have nothing, maybe some chiller party, very little. Now, when you are basically using your computer, you are using it for maybe doing Excel, this, that, all that kind of nonsense. You may be just doing a word processor thing. But now when you are using it for processing pictures, moving pictures, some media, the GPU, it comes on. And the higher the resolution, the higher the capability of processing, the crunching that has to be done, your GPU's capacity has to be phenomenal. You know, how many of you know that the people, those who do gaming, the gamers have computers which has very high GPUs, speeds are so fantastic you can't even imagine. They have multiple processors, and because they have GPUs and CPUs which are so high, they need cooling. That is why you see, if you see a big, the guy who plays all these games, you will find some blue lights and stuff like that going, lines of colored liquid flowing all over the place. What is that? That is a coolant. Because they are heating up the machine like that. So now think about this. In your body, if you are doing only just like that processing for no rhyme or reason, okay, I'm just taking, I'm doing only little breath. You are not even using the GPU that is there. That means it's not going right inside and triggering the action. Now when you do deep breath, those places in your body start alive. They come alive. That is why it is important for living in this world and processing yourself and doing the highest of the jobs, whatever they may be. This is extremely important. Alright? So don't take it so lightly. I have explained to you through a computer and through a body. Please use your brains a little bit and understand, if you are doing shallow breathing and you are not even interested, then you are doing some disservice to the supercomputer that this is there. This is not a small computer. This is a supercomputer. And in the supercomputer, there are so many other processors inside, you can't even see them. And you are not even putting on. What is the point? See, your son, now you may have a son or a daughter or whoever, and for them you have bought some nice, very nice computer, okay? And the computer is very expensive. You might have paid 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs for big processing capability, because your child wants to play games sometimes. And you say to this fellow, exam time, no using computers, no playing games, nothing. The capability of computer is only to do studies. You know how much of disservice you are doing to that computer? So it's like that, you are like a gaming computer and you are using only this much of capacity for your word processing or whatever that is. It's not good. So use it fully, full usage. That is what he says. So the incoming breath and outgoing breath are two. One is prana, outgoing. Yeah, exhaling out. Prana, apana. Apana means incoming breath. Both these are flowing through the nostrils. Nostrils, this is a place where our first breath comes in, correct? He who has brought his senses. The moment you do this, what is happening? You are paying attention to the triggering. You are paying attention to the triggers. You are not paying attention to the things outside in the world. Did you notice? The moment you are thinking, I take a deep breath, oh, this is charging, this is charging, this person, this place is charging. So you are basically focusing on that. So all the other focus goes away. So all your senses, mind and intellect, is not getting used. It's just being put in the shelf. They come under control because you have now regulated the breath. Alright? So, everything comes under control. And then the soul becomes completely contemplative. Contemplative means lost in this particular activity of creating this beautiful scenery inside the body. And intent on liberation. So there is only one reason why you are doing this: inward breath, outward breath, inward breath, outward breath, inward breath, outward breath. And that too very slowly. There is a technique which I will teach you all someday. I don't know when or whenever the time is. I think in the coming weeks only. So this inward and outward breath is very important for you. So this soul becomes contemplative, and when he becomes contemplative, he is free from desire. No desires are there. Free from anger and fear also. Because there is no fear. You are losing yourself inside the body, no? Breathing exercise. Then what is the question of fear or anger or anything like that? Your focus is never outside then. The God is within you, remember that. Now, I want you to think, what did I say when you take a deep breath? It is giving triggers. Tuck, tuck. So those portions get active. That wheel goes round and round. I said these words. What do you think that is? Whatever that I said to you, when the trigger goes round and it starts an action, I'm putting on that particular GPU in that place. So it is doing processing. What is the process? It is calling on the God. It is like trying to connect to divinity inside. So it's like, just think about it. If I have touched the bottom, okay, the God is asleep over there, and I'm going every time and I'm doing knock knock, knock knock, knock knock, knock knock. You remember? I am knocking on God's door. The God inside that place wakes up. Oh, he's knocking, she's knocking. I have to go and see what is there. And then you tell the God, I want this thing to be done. Don't you think he is going to do that thing for you? Okay? Because there are gods inside your body, the whole system from top to bottom is full of GODS. All the deities that are there. So at the bottom, okay, where your gonads are, there is a whole load of gods living. Okay? There are Devis. Devis are Shaktis, potencies. Yesterday we did potency. Remember the word. They have potency. But like an idiot, we do not tap into the potency. Just having a power, somebody having power, and we are not tapping into it and we are not using it, what is the point? So when I do this activity, I am tapping those gods. The gods come alive and then they perform actions for me. These Devis are powerful Devis. So this is what happens. Alright? So, then because I am focused on the Devi, I am focused on activity which is important to me. I am not interested in getting angry over stupid issues. I am not afraid. I am not even thinking I need money, I need this, I need people to feel nice about me. These things don't matter because you are lost in this activity. Why should you bother what other people say? The gods inside are getting active now. And my world becomes fully charged. I am like that battery, that Tesla battery, full charge, 100% charge. Like my phone battery, 100% charge. Now I am ready to do anything in the world. Like that God thing he will do. I can do anything. This is what happens. Alright? Got it? And that is what? Then you are going to get liberated. We'll do the last verse and then I'll finish. Having known me, In reality, as the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all the worlds, and the selfless friend of all beings, my devotee attains peace. So after doing this, then you know me, because the enjoyment is not outside. Now please do not mix up the word enjoyment over here. I have cautioned you. Enjoyment doesn't mean, oh, I am enjoying. No. I am miserable. That is also enjoyment. That misery or enjoyment doesn't come about. So then what happens? All that you are doing outside, now you are enjoying inside you. The charging is happening. The gods are rising. Everything is getting on. So whatever job that I have come to do in this world, I will be ready to do. This is what I will do. So, the enjoyer of all sacrifices, I am the sacrifice. I am the sacrifice and the enjoyer of it. Who? Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna says, you know me then. I live inside your body. And what do I do? Whatever that you're doing just now, breathing in, breathing out, or what that you're triggering all the goddesses within, that is nothing but you are performing these sacrifices for me only. And then all the austerities that you're doing are for me. I am the Supreme Lord of the world. Sri Krishna is the Supreme Lord of the world. He is the Lord of this whole body of yours. All the gods over there, they report to him. So, then you know the Supreme World, or whatever that is happening in this world of mine is known. You are performing it only for me. When you do it for me, I, who am the selfless friend, I am not interested that you should do this for me. See, in this world, people are so selfish, they will do it only for themselves. I want this, I want that, I am like this, I am like that. Sri Krishna inside is selfless. He is not saying, I want it like this. No. He says, you do it. You do it selflessly. Okay? So when you do it selflessly, then there is no problem. And when I am the selfless being and every action that you perform is for me alone, then you attain peace. Because there is peace where I am there. I am there, so there is going to be peace. So you attain a state of Sat Chit Ananda. Alright, so I have come to the end of verse 29. Thus in the Upanishad sung by the Lord, the science of Brahma, the scripture of Yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna ends the 5th chapter entitled The Yoga of Action and Knowledge.